welcome to our third Dollars Donuts of the semester. Today we have Mike England speaking to us. He's going to give us his bio, so I don't have to introduce him. He's going to talk to us about investing. Seniors, do remember that we do have the senior class gift still available. You can just email me or anyone on the Student Alumni Council, and they can help you figure out the best way to give towards that gift. We're going to be about 15 minutes here, and then we'll transition to a question and answer session. So
Cool. Thanks, Zach. Hi everyone. Thanks for having me today. A little bit about me. I graduated from Spring Arbor. Zach's dad actually recruited me, got me signed up when I came in as a freshman, and then hired me in admissions when I graduated from Spring Arbor. At the time it was college, and that was in '98. So, Zach, you were like that big or something. So, yeah, and so I graduated. I worked here for about 10 years in admissions, and then in fundraising and advancement. Did their job and had a blast. Then I left and I went to work for Allegiance Hospital in fundraising. And now I'm in investment management, wealth management. So thanks for having me here. So when Zach asked me to come speak, I was thinking, what do I want to talk to these guys about? And quite frankly, that article was perfect, because if you've already cheated and went ahead, you'll see that most college students wished, based on that survey, wished that someone had talked to them about finances. And I don't know, have people talk to you about finances? I know that they're starting to introduce it in high school and things like that, but other than this program, has anybody sat down with you and talked to you about like your student loans and debt and credit cards and maybe investing as you think about graduating? Anybody? Just show of hands. Okay. Who feels like they know what they need to know about finances as they look at graduation? A couple of you? Okay, good. All right, well, my goal today is just to hopefully, I know you won't remember everything that I have to say today, but I just want to impress upon you just a few things that I think are foundational to your future. America's great. We have great opportunities here. Sometimes people look at our financial system and feel like it's messed up, it's broken, it's not fair, whatever. However you want to look at it, that's fine. But I stress upon you, take advantage of what is available to you. For some folks it's, hey, I want to be a millionaire, I want to make a bunch of money, have places in Florida, travel, do all these things for myself. For others, it's, I want to make a lot of money so that I can give back. And so the idea is that how do you graduate, everybody's seniors, right? Okay. Graduate and begin the process of building your wealth. Maybe that seems crazy talk, at this moment. I've got student loans, I don't have a job yet. Wealth? Well, we all know we're pretty much all wealthy anyway compared to the rest of the world, right? So what I want to focus on is basically how, not how you make money, that's what you're here for, but how do you keep it? And how do you make that money work for you? And so there's a couple of things that you can do. One of those is investing, and the other is saving and staying out of debt. And so just starting with the investing piece, as you graduate and secure employment, many employers offer a 401k. You guys all know what that is, retirement savings plans. Okay. It's a benefit that a lot of employers will offer. Sometimes younger employees will think, you know what, I just don't have the money right now to put aside, I'll play catch up. And I want to jump to the handout that has the graph on it. That just demonstrates for you what you lose when you decide that I'm going to play catch up. Okay? I encourage you to give. See, I'm thinking fundraising. To save until it hurts, okay? So I made a mistake. No one talked to me about this stuff. I made the mistake that when I graduated, I was eager and I went out, got a good job, and I bought a brand new pickup truck. I thought, yeah, I've made it now. I can go out and buy this F-150 and I can afford the payments. Little did I know I couldn't, but I did it. And if I could go back and do it all over again, I would go out and buy a beater, and I would take those payments and I would put them in my employer's 401k. I would invest every single dollar of it. And that graph, I don't have to say too much about it. That graph demonstrates why you should do that, okay? So how do you get to that point where you're thinking about, all right, how much do I put aside? The other part of the equation is having a budget and understanding your finances and knowing what's reasonable for you and what's not. And so, it's a really exciting time. I remember that feeling. You graduate, you get some money in your pocket, you have the freedom to pretty much do whatever you want, and you just start spending. And, I guess maybe I'll sound like that guy that, you don't want to hear it. Oh, don't save it. I don't want to hear that. I'm telling you right now, if you just apply yourself and set a budget and start saving early, you'll make a lot of money. You really have the ability, with very little, to become a millionaire by the time you reach retirement. If this was something I was handing out to a client, I'd have to throw like 20 pages of disclosures to say I can't make any promises or see the future, and that's true. But when you look historically at the stock market and investments over time, the reason that those accounts can grow so fast is because of compound interest, okay? And so as you start socking away that very little, over time it builds up and it just does this, right? Because it's adding, compounding year after year. Okay, does that make sense to everybody, that concept? I don't want to be too general and, okay, good. So you can look at the numbers that are on that page and get a clear understanding of how that works and why you should consider putting away as much as possible. In terms of understanding how investing works, I talk to a lot of people about investing. I have clients that come in. We facilitate 401k plans with employers, and I sit with a lot of employees. And a lot of them just really have no clue. And that's fine. The best advice I was given when I started putting money away was actually from my brother. And he said, Mike, just set it, forget it. You're not going to touch the money. You don't need to track the stock market. And so we have people who call us up and they're freaking out because Sears, went belly up, or Ford is struggling and things like that. They're acting like day traders. And unless you're in this business, you don't need to have that level of sophistication of knowledge of, having a tracker on your screen and seeing what the stock market is doing. What you need is a good plan, and just have, because you have longevity on your side. So that plan in place will help you maintain, stay true to that plan, and things will grow for you. What happens is the stock market, if you look back, I don't know if anybody's ever looked back at the last 80 years, the stock market has done this, and there's been some bad days, some bad years, but it's continually grown, okay? So again, I'm stressing, save money, leave it alone, don't take loans out on it, things like that, okay? But in terms of knowledge, have some understanding. There are some good sources out there that will give you some of the basics about investing and how finances work and how the economy works. I'm not saying, put your money away and put your head in the sand and forget about it. Have a general understanding. There's some good resources out there. Investopedia, The Morning Brew, those are some good resources that I still get and learn from. Real basic information, okay? So look at those resources. Probably the biggest thing that I can tell you that will be beneficial for you in terms of figuring everything out is to find an advisor. And a lot of people right out of college don't go and find an advisor. One of the things that we stress with our 401k plans is that each of the participants have access to us for financial planning. Like I know here at Spring Arbor they offer a plan, and once a year, it's still TIA, will come in and spend 15 minutes with you or so. And they'll talk about some basic things. But if your employer has a firm like ours who's willing to sit down with you for an hour, develop a retirement plan, a financial plan, even help you with budgeting, take advantage of it. Okay? Just as soon as you get a job, find out what the benefit package is, start saving, and ask them, hey, do you guys have advisors that we can meet with and sit down with and help develop plans? That'd be really helpful. Those advisors will help you not make mistakes. Will help you as you're struggling, like, hey, we're thinking about buying a new car or a house or whatever. Especially as you start getting married and start having kids, there's a lot of decisions that are thrown at you. Having that advisor in your corner is a good thing to have. Even if you have to pay a little bit of money out of pocket for it. Some advisors might charge you $500 a year for their services, but it's well worth it if you're making good choices. We have people that will call in to our office and say, hey, I want to get a new Harley. I want to take, $5 grand out of my account. They don't understand that they're stealing from their future, right? So, everybody know who Dave Ramsey is? Yeah? Okay. Anybody ever listen to him or take a course? Yes? 1? Okay. 2? All right. So I have clients that go through that course. I teach that course at my church. I tell them, you have a student in college, all right, who just graduated, please send them this course. It's a great investment. You can listen to Dave Ramsey or Chris Hogan, works with him. They have podcasts that you can just download and listen to every day. And what do I say? They make a lot of blanket statements, and they have to because they're talking to millions of people. But you'll learn from other people's mistakes if you listen to that. So maybe as you're just thinking about the content that you take in, maybe add that to the mix. Make some time for that. That's just a tip for you. Many times people will come in my office and they're in their 50s and their 60s and they'll say, yeah, I think it's time to develop a plan. And they're 20 or 30 grand in debt and they have maybe $10,000 saved for retirement. They're in trouble. So you guys have the ability. I wish I could just be there, just chirping in your ear as you graduate and get those jobs to just remember what I'm saying. Don't waste the time. That graph will show you what wasted time will cost you. Okay, I can't say it strong enough. So do that. The other part of it is just like I mentioned, make sure you have the budget. Make sure that you have an emergency fund. So start putting money away, saving money, get an account that you won't touch. That'll help you stay out of credit card debt. There's gonna be a lot of temptation, you guys, to sign up for credit cards. Yes?
Is a savings account and emergency fund the same thing?
Yeah. That's where you would house the savings account. There's other types of accounts that you could put that money in, but a savings account is just the best way of doing it. So, yeah, I can't stress that enough. So, the other thing that will steal from you is going into debt. So, that's the other side of the coin. Avoid credit card debt. Attack your student loans as soon as you graduate. I know there's forbearance. I know that there's other ways that you can minimize the payments while you're looking to make more money, but I'm telling you right now, that will just, you're saddled with that if you have how many people have student loans? Pretty much everybody, right? Okay. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. Make the full payments. Make extra payments if you can. Hold off on buying that new F-150. I'm telling you, that will hang around for years, okay? Years. So, really that's about it. I wanted to stress those things and then just open it up for questions.
Yeah, so we're going to transition into the question and answer time of our Dollars and Donuts thing. If you want more donuts, more coffee, go ahead and do that now. If you need to leave, that's totally fine. Don't forget there's a sign-in sheet back there. That wasn't there when some of you showed up, but it's there now. So, go ahead. Any questions?
Yes.
Yeah, so I know what a 401k is, but if you transition into a new career or like stay in the same career but switch jobs or move to a new location, is that account is yours? Like you just continue to like add to it from the new job?
Yeah, absolutely. So what you can do is there's several ways. Some companies will have what they call a vesting schedule. So typically anything that you put away is yours, 100%, and the gains on that. So the investment's going to earn money. Some companies will say, hey, you have to be here. They'll put the match in, right? They might say, hey, you have to be here for 2 years before. And if you leave within that time frame, you can't take the match that we put in, but you can take all of your money and the gains. That's one way. That's not real common. The most common form is that you'll sign up for the plan. You can put in a certain amount. They'll match it, okay? And then when you leave, you can roll that over into another plan or into your own account somewhere. But it'll stick with you and continue to grow. So, yeah, this is money that you'll really never lose unless we have just a huge crash, right, in the market. That is a potential, but not likely. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh. Yes.
Hypothetically, if someone left college with, say, no student loans, no student debt,
Great.
how would you balance like saving for retirement and saving for like a down payment for a house and like a car and things like that?
Yeah. So it's exactly it. It would just be a balance. So if you have a goal, I like that you said also for cars. So presuming that you all graduate with a working vehicle, right? Or can get access to one, drive that car as long as you can and start putting money away for a new car. I don't mean brand new car, I mean a newer car. Avoid buying a brand new car, guys. It's just, I don't know if anybody's ever preached this to you or not, but you know, you buy the new car, smells great, you drive off the lot, and it loses value to me. It's one of the worst investments, a brand new car that you can make. And I'm a car guy, so that's a hard one for me. But I had to learn that lesson. When cash flow got tight, I had to take in the newer car and trade it in for a used car. And honestly, it was eye-opening because I had actually gone through like 3 or 4 like brand new car scenarios. And then I hit a point in my life where it's like, ooh, you know, things are a little bit tighter than I like. And I was amazed at the used cars that you can get, you know, and the price. I mean, some of these are really, really nice cars, and it's really eye-opening. So yeah, so to answer your question, if you're saving for something specific, so once you graduate, Dave Ramsey preaches, have $1,000 in an emergency fund, have whatever amount coming out of your paycheck every month towards that. If you have some goal savings, you know, goals in mind, like a new vehicle, put the money away for that. And then also put money in your retirement plan. So a lot of employers have matches. You want to put in at least the minimum to get the match. So you're at least doubling your savings, right? Does that make sense? Okay. You can go beyond that, but you at least want to get what they're matching. Okay? Next question. Yes?
Are you a CFA?
I'm not.
CFP?
No. I passed the Series 7 and 66. CFP is the next level.
Right.
Yeah. In fact, my partner, business partner, just passed it.
Awesome.
He has a notification this week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This might go over some people's head, but would you recommend for us like a standard IRA or 401k or versus like a Roth?
Thank you for asking that question. I actually had that in my notes and I didn't get to it. So if your employer does not offer a 401k, because not everyone does, you can open your own IRA account, and please do it. So now you're funding it on your own. There's no match, but it's still going to grow over time. And at that time, that's when you definitely want to talk to an advisor for sure, just to make sure you're getting into the right type of account. Basically, you guys know the difference between like a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA. It's just the differences in how they treat the taxes. And so, assuming that you're probably going to be in a lower tax bracket after you graduate, A Roth IRA would probably be the best, but that's a blanket statement. Make sure you talk to an advisor for your individual needs. Answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
What does that acronym stand for? IRA?
Individual retirement account.
Oh, nice.
Some people say investment retirement account, but it's individual retirement. Yes.
For when it comes down to compound interest, is it just that you invest in, let's just say, Roth IRA, and it just compounds automatically over time? Is it a selection in the Roth IRA that you choose for to compound, or
So that's
how does it compound?
Sure. So there's going to be dividend payments. So when you buy stock
Right, yeah.
and bonds, you're going to get money back, right? Essentially, you're giving these companies your money to do what they need to do with it, and then they'll pay you back over time, the interest and dividends, and that just over time. So you reinvest that money, so it starts building and building, right?
Oh, okay.
And over time, it just
Right.
compounds up.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, you brought up another thing. When you open an account, you'll sit down with someone, you'll look at your risk tolerance, and it goes from very conservative to really aggressive, right? And at that point, that's when you would choose the different types of funds that you would invest in. So like my favorite fund, and one that I invest in, is the Growth Fund of America. It's American, big corporations, Apple. It's a basket of stocks, right? It's a mutual fund.
Mutual fund, yeah.
Yep. And so that's just me. I'm betting on America, and it's going great. It's performed well. Now, if I was in retirement, I wouldn't put my money in that.
Okay.
I'd be in more of a balanced fund.
What would be,
Or type of
yeah,
account.
if I could follow up that question, what would be a safe age range if, for example, you're a risky investor in your youth, and then what would be the shifting age? Would it be like in your 40s, 50s?
Generally
Or else be more
speaking,
conservative?
as you're near retirement, you want to become more conservative,
Mhm.
but you still want growth, because you retire at 65, you still got another 30 years, potentially, or longer nowadays, to live, and that's the money you're going to live on and spend from. So you still want to produce your growth there. A lot of employers will offer what we call retirement date funds. And a lot of my newer investors, I put them in those types of funds. Those funds automatically adjust over time. So if you were graduating today, I might put you in a 2060 retirement date target fund. It starts off really aggressive, and then as you near retirement, it just automatically shifts to being more conservative.
Okay.
It's really nice. Now, I put you in that initially, but as you build up more assets in that account, I'm probably going to diversify it even more and add a few things. And it really depends on what you're, so I don't like last year, international tanked quite a bit, and I pulled a lot out of international stocks on my personal account, and focused on more American stocks. But they're saying that there might be a comeback internationally, so so it's very individual, what you have the stomach for, the risk. We always tell people to buy, if they're going to buy individual stocks, buy things that they use, right? So I own some Apple stock, very little. And when you start, like even me, I don't own a ton of individual stocks. I'm in mutual funds, right? So those growth funds that I have in my accounts, I own Walmart, I own Amazon, I own little pieces of them, but I own it, right? So don't get caught up unless it's just, I know my brother at one point, he owned one share of Disney. He loved Disney. It was sentimental. I own some Ford stock for that reason, group in Metro Detroit, so just wanted to have a few shares, and it's not doing too well, but it's there. Most of my money's in mutual funds. What other questions do you guys have? Yes?
Do you know if foreigners can invest in the American funds?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, it doesn't matter really.
That's right. Yes?
So the different ways to invest include like investing in stocks and then mutual funds and then like what other ways are
There's
there?
bonds,
Bond.
okay? REITs, which is real estate trusts, okay? You can invest in CDs, money market accounts. There's a lot out there
Okay.
that you can invest in. And they all have, different purposes.
Mhm.
Yes?
Should you be investing at the same time that you're like paying off loans? Like, I don't think you
Yeah.
should wait until you pay off loans, right?
No, you should invest as early as possible. Again, every situation's different. If you're heavily in debt and you're having a hard time putting food on the table, that's a different story. In fact, I had someone signing up for an account, and we were going through her risk tolerance questionnaire, and she was pausing a lot, and she was saying, I'm actually struggling to put food on the table, and we said, time out. You're not gonna start investing right now. Like, you need to get your house in order a little bit more, support your family, maybe pay off some of the debt first. So everybody's situation is different, right? So, you wanna start saving as early as possible, but if it's the right thing for you. But I do believe you can balance it out in most situations. What else? Yes?
I think it could probably be intimidating for somebody to just walk into your office, who, if they're still in college or just out of college. So what's a good way for somebody to get in touch with
Yeah.
an expert that could give them advice or
Mhm.
help them begin walking through this process?
Yeah, so I tell all my clients, hey, if your kids have any questions about investing and finances and things like that, have them come in. So, like if your parents have an advisor, ask your parent to speak with their advisor. Are they willing to meet with me and sit down with me and talk about, they'd be happy to. For the most part, there are some guys out there and girls that might not want to. But speaking for myself and a lot of the other advisors I know, they would love to be able to sit down with you, educate you. If you need it, open an account and get started. They'd be happy to do that. So there, talk to your employer, see if the person that handles their 401k is an advisor and is willing to sit down with you to talk about that, or just go out and find one on your own. You're right, Matt, it can be very intimidating. But, I would, if you're gonna go out there and look for one on your own, shop around a little bit. Not every advisor's the same. Some advisors have minimums. I know there's a guy in town that says, I'm not gonna talk to you unless you have $1 million. That's not us. So call around, meet with them, see if it's a good fit. I mean, we tell our clients, I turned down business yesterday because it wasn't a good fit. He wanted a day trader. He wanted me to be able to be in front of the computer all day long and trade for him, and that's not what we do. We focus on our clients, and we do a lot of planning and things like that. And so I just, I'm not sitting in front of my computer all day long doing that. So we weren't a good fit. He thanked me for his honesty, for my honesty, and moved on. So, did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't be afraid of this stuff. Don't shy away from it. Understand your finances. It's critical for whatever goals you have. Whether it's ministry or school teacher, you want to be the next Bill Gates or whoever's out there. I talk to clients who will come in with severe financial issues, and they'll come in with a stack like that, and that stack got that big because they just ignore it. Right? It's just like anything else that you want to be healthy, and you can't ignore it. Be aware of what's going on, where your money's going. Make sense? Are you guys gonna remember this? Yeah? So everybody's graduating like soon.
36 days.
Anybody have a job lined up?
That's right.
You have a job lined up? You do? Okay. Where are you guys going? What's your job?
I'm moving to Missouri.
Sweet. All right. Good.
I'm moving to South Carolina, and I'll be with Ford, actually.
Okay. They have a 401k program.
Very
So,
nice.
yeah. Have you already talked to them about that, or did that come up in the interview?
It came up in the job offer.
Yeah.
But I
the
haven't.
package.
Yeah, I haven't discussed it with them yet.
And they may make you wait a year or so to
Mhm.
jump in, but you're gonna jump in as soon as possible, right?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably have a really generous match too. Yeah, so as you guys are, that's a good point. So as you guys are out there job searching and they begin to make offers, make sure you ask them about the benefits package and that it includes. I'm not saying turn down a job that doesn't have it, but you understand what I'm saying. Make sure you know what they're offering you and it's available. That's a big factor, guys. Okay. What else? Anything else? Yes, sir.
How do you think a college graduate could further their personal finance education after they graduate?
After they
So, like,
graduate?
not taking classes, but just like, how could you?
Listen to that podcast. So Dave Ramsey and Chris Hogan each have a podcast. I still listen to them. The information there's really good. Read, right? There's some great books out there for you to read. I think you guys should focus on personal finance and not investing, okay? Personal finance is going to touch on investing and a lot of the things that we've talked about. Take a Dave Ramsey course. You don't have to be like drowning in debt to take the course. In fact, my course I just taught had some people that were near graduation or had just graduated last year. I can't remember, but they were just getting set up, right, for the future. So I would, go back to your churches or wherever you're from and ask about it. You don't have, the one we taught was at Jackson Nazarene Church. We had people that weren't members of the church that came. So I would strongly encourage you to look at that as a source. Really good foundational stuff.
So in terms of personal finance, do you just recommend like making a list of things and like budgeting by list, or do you have an app that you like to use, or what do you recommend?
I've tried a lot of different fancy apps. So here's my go-to. I have a spreadsheet that I look at pretty much every day. Not every single day, but pretty much every day. I look at my bank. I utilize my bank accounts website. Actually, I just switched to Huntington Bank, and they have some really cool goal saver, I think they call it. So I just have automatically, I've got things like, and so, for example, like I've got my son's going to start taking driver's training this year, which is crazy. So I've got a $300 goal in August, so I'm saving towards that. I've got a dentist appointment coming up. These are things I know I'm going to pay cash for. Okay? It doesn't mean like I won't have the money already there, but it's all about knowing where your money is going. Right? You gotta master that, or else it's going to master you, and then you're going to be sitting there thinking, I really want that, and they're giving me a great credit offer because they're already giving you the best credit card offers you'll ever get today, right? They want to get you roped in immediately.
So like in terms of your everyday spending, like groceries or gas for your car and stuff, do you keep the receipts? Do you add everything up at the end of the month? How do you do it?
I've got to the point where I kind of know where I'm at and how much I can spend, but I did do that for a while. And I've got my budget, and actually I go in and categorize. Like Mint offers this. You guys, have you heard of the Mint app? Okay. You can go in and categorize your spending. So if you have like a $500 budget for groceries, every month, and that'll fluctuate whether or not you have kids. And you can go in and categorize it, and you can tell, like, ooh, we're getting close. Maybe you need to hold off on buying steaks this time around, or whatever, So that's really important that you
Well,
do
it can
that.
be a hassle to keep up with like all the
Yep.
receipts and like add everything into
Yeah.
the time,
Well,
so.
technology makes it a lot
Yeah.
easier now.
So
Yeah, I don't save receipts like that anymore, but I did for a while. But
You said the name is Mint? Or
Mint.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
Should we be concerned about our Social Security in the future? Because people talk about that, how that's not, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you certainly shouldn't bank on it. A lot of those people that are in their 50s and 60s that come in with nothing and they're like, hey, I need to figure out a plan. That's all they have. I don't know what they're going to do about that. It's a political issue. They're saying that it could run out. I know the government is doing a lot to encourage you to open savings accounts, retirement savings accounts, right? So they make it, there's tax benefits and there's different programs that make it really easy to open certain accounts. So, maybe they're nervous about it too. I don't know, but I wouldn't count on it. I definitely would not. You know, if it's there when you retire, then it's icing on the cake. That would be my advice. I would not count on it at all. But I'm not predicting that it won't be there. Just don't know. So yeah, and I just keep that one little graph somewhere. Just remember that, yeah.
This might be a stupid question,
All
but
right.
if there's a gap, like let's say I was saving the next 5 years and all of a sudden I stopped putting money in there for a while, what happens to it? Or does it just stop growing? Or?
It'll continue to grow.
Yeah.
Yep, it'll continue to grow. You'll reinvest that as you get dividends. It won't grow as much, but
Yeah.
it'll still grow
Okay.
over time. Yeah.
So for like a recent as a graduate,
Yeah.
do you have any opinion on like for which bank we should be putting our money into as far as like for loans with lower credit scores or just like for like good credit card rates
Yeah.
and that sort of thing? Do you have any like input on
Yeah,
that?
if you can avoid credit cards, do it. If you
Right.
can't, I mean, I know everybody's situation's different. So Dave Ramsey would say no credit cards. Because essentially, you think about it, the credit card companies they have their compounding interest rates as well, and so we're making them rich instead of making ourselves rich, right? They love those graphs too, but it's for themselves. So I shopped around. I just mentioned I just switched banks. I switched banks because I was going for technology. Now I kept the other bank open because that's where I have my auto loan through. I had a mortgage through them, and they're a local bank, so I was able to call them up. It's a little dangerous sometimes. Say, hey, I need a new car. And they're like, all right, you've got 20 grand. Don't go crazy. Local bank, they know who I am. I'm in Rotary with them. You don't get that kind of treatment at a large bank. Right? They're going to want everything under the sun to prove how much you're making, other debts you have. They're going to run your credit score, things like that. So shop around, talk to personal bankers. If technology is important to you, then go for that. So my new bank has all of the Mint type things built into it. So now I'm not opening up multiple apps to see what's going on with my finances, right? Save cash. Use that, not credit.
So for people who don't have a credit score, perhaps young people just never use a credit card, but they need to build a credit score for certain things, like if you want to rent an apartment or buy a car, what do you recommend they should do then?
This is a page out of Dave Ramsey's book. He will say, everybody's, okay, it's a fallacy that you have to have a credit score. It makes things a little bit more difficult. Now, I used to sell insurance, auto insurance, and they base the rate on your credit score. They call it an insurance score. Part of that score was credit score. So, if you absolutely want to build credit, right, then some people get a credit card that they put all their gas on it for the month and then they pay it off, right? So it's not building up debt, but you're establishing credit.
And you can set it up so that it's an automatic payment if you want to. So.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. Other questions? I'm happy to stick around if anybody wants to talk one-on-one.
All right. Well, same time next week, 10 a.m. Thank you for coming. And,
Absolutely.
thanks,